In this KipWare video, we're going to go beyond just quoting and estimating with KIPP Were QTE and show you how we can use our resource planning module and our cost review module to make sure that your quoting and estimating process is on track and that you're winning profitable work. Using KIPP Were QTE, we've created a cost estimate that includes material, tooling, labor, and non-machining costs. The next step is to save it as a KipwareMRP project so that it can be used out on the shop floor where operators can actually track the resources that are being used in production. So we're going to click Save the MRP Job Estimate, and we're going to save it. If we take a look at KipwareMRP, we can see how it operates. It will be able to show us the information for material, tooling, labor, and non-machining once we load the project. So we'll go ahead, we'll load the MRP project that we created from the estimate, and now we can take a look at the individual areas. So material, tooling, labor, and any non-machining costs that were included in the KIPP Were QTE estimate. As the job progresses on the shop floor, the operators can enter the information that's actually being done. For the purpose of this video, we're going to double everything. So we're going to tell it that the length of the material for the part is 3.5 inches actually. We estimated 1.75 inches. Now we can take a look at some of the tooling. So we're using an 80-degree diamond and a 55-degree diamond. The estimate was for 1 each to complete the job. Let's say for instance that actually we used 5 inserts, 80-degree diamonds, and that we used 10 inserts for the 55-degree diamond. In the labor, we're going to record the actual cycle times. So out on the shop floor as the job is running, the operators can enter the actual cycle time for each of the operations as the part progresses through production. So we're going to double these to 3 minutes for the rough turning and 1 minute for the finished turning. Now we'll take a look at non-machining costs. So the estimate is showing us that we had 3 hours and 6 hours for programming and setup, and then we had 4 additional services. So we had some special tooling that was in the estimate, we had a hold down pin that was in the estimate, we had some deburring time, and we had some packing time. So again, for the purpose of this video, we're going to double everything. So let's say 6 hours to do the programming, 12 hours to do the setup, and then the packing, we'll call it 6 hours to complete, and for the deburring, we'll call it 3 hours to complete. These other 2 additional services have nothing really to do with what's happening on the shop floor, so these can be adjusted when the KIPP Were CRM is employed. So now that we've got everything actually tracked and set up into the project, we can save the project as a KIPP Were CRM report. Now we can load that into KIPP Were CRM and see our actual costs. So we'll start KIPP Were CRM and we'll load the original estimate. So the first thing we're going to do is load the original estimate that we had. Now there's 2 ways that we can use CRM. We can use it in conjunction with the report that was created from the shop floor, or someone in the office can do it manually. So if we open up the material costs, you can see that we can have either an itemized analysis or a general analysis. The general analysis is just basically inputting the cost of the material. In the itemized analysis, say for tooling, this will give us an opportunity again to look through the estimated quantities, and we can also put in the actual quantities used. So this information can either come directly in the office for input, or we can use that KipwareMRP report that was created out on the shop floor to be able to get this information. So if we load that MRP report that was generated from the shop floor, everything is pretty much done for us. If we do a compare costs, you can see that we've doubled everything in our sample. So everything has come in, shown us the actual costs. These are the estimated costs, and in red it's showing us that we've lost money in each of the areas. If we take a look at what was done on the shop floor, we can see that we have 10 of these inserts that we used and 5 of these inserts that we used. We can also take a look at the material now. The material now is 3.5 inches. We estimated 1.75, so it's showing us what the material cost is and the cost per part. So each one of these areas is a complete breakdown in KIPP Where CRM, where you can take a look in depth at areas where you lost or gained profit through the actual versus the estimated costs. If we take a look at the machining, you see that we increased this to a minute, and the rough turning we had increased to 3 minutes. So very nicely in the compare costs, we can see what our estimated costs are. We can see what our actual costs are for each of the areas of the quote, and we can see our profit and loss for each of the areas of the quote. Just to give you an idea of how it would look if we didn't use the MRP module, if we loaded the estimate, we would have the ability to come into each of the areas of the estimate and do an itemized or just a general analysis. So if we wanted to do, say, a general analysis, let's say we looked at our purchase of the material and it was actually only $1,500. So right away we get a cost per part of $30 for material where we had an estimated cost of $40.44. If we take a quick look at the compare costs, you can see that we're in blue and that we've got a profit made from the material, the $1,500 actually spent versus the $2,000 that was estimated. If we come into the tooling, let's do an itemized analysis, and let's say we used a little more inserts than we had originally estimated. So we used 3 of the 80-degree diamond, and we used 5 of the 55-degree diamond. So you can see this is reflecting in our costs here of $2.34, $1.05. Again, do a quick compare costs, and you can see that now we've made some profit here on the material, but we've lost money in our material. But overall, we're still in the blue. So KIPP Where CRM can be used either in conjunction with an MRP report that was generated on the shop floor, or you can use it directly with manual inputs. Using these two powerful modules, we can go beyond just quoting and estimating. We can take an in-depth look at the profit and loss, which will highlight areas in our estimating process that may need some revisions. Maybe purchasing the material or tooling. We can see in depth in KIPP Where CRM where the profit and loss is being generated. Quoting and estimating is surely the lifeblood of your business. With KIPP Were QTE, you can quickly and accurately generate quotations and estimates, and between KipwareMRP and CRM, you can take a look and actually track resources and estimated costs versus actual costs.